Looking to free up 30% of your time in the upcoming year. I mean, come on, who else is thinking about how can I live a life where I'm not as stressed, not as burnt out? And it's going to be a super exciting conversation. Stay tuned. So come and join us for this episode. 2024 is around the corner, and many of us are looking to make sure our schedule is not like how it was in 2023. My guest is a productivity coach. She helps others, leaders, entrepreneurs be able to live a life that they've always dreamed of. But of course, you know what? Why listen to me? And I'm just a video marketing producer. I interview others. My name is Shri, and my guest is Kate Sotsenko. I hope I said her name right.
You
And she
did.
and she's going to be sharing with us things to help us get ready for 2024. We're going to learn about her. And guess what, guys? This is her first live pop-up live. So we're going to make sure we give some love. Okay, Kate. What's one thing that people don't know about you?
One. Wow. I think there are many actually. I don't share a lot about myself on LinkedIn, but I think one thing that people don't know about me is that I love dancing. This is something that actually gives me a lot of energy, and this is how I meditate. So whenever I miss energy during the day, so I put some music on for 10, 15 minutes and I just start dancing. Whatever sort of kind of energy I need, this is the music that I pick. But this is something that maybe, if you look outside the window, if you can see me, you would think that I'm crazy. But this is sort of my way to get back to sort of focus and get back on track. So it really, really helps me to kind of get rid of all the negativity and stuff and just say like, this is where I need to be. So yeah, I think dancing probably. I didn't talk about it a lot on LinkedIn.
I want to ask the in the audience because I see you, Sonal and Mohammed and Marco. I cannot respond to your comments and I can't show them here. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. However, I want to say that if you can share, does music help you? I mean, I know before this actual live, I was listening to music while I was doing my makeup and I was just getting into a vibe because like you said, it gets you in a different state of mind. Whether you woke up this morning feeling a certain kind of way or it's a sales call or it's a big conversation, those music has a way to do that and it helps you get focused. So let's
Yeah,
get focused on this conversation. And I want to
let's
ask
go.
you, so you worked in corporate
I did.
and you were leading others, but at what point in time did you realize, you know what, this is not what I want to do? I want to help others be able to figure out a better life for themselves.
That's an interesting question because I think that my story is very different from others. People kind of, they come to a realization that they want to do something different, and they kind of, if they really, really want it, they say, okay, I start. For me, it was not at all the same thing. Actually, I started thinking about it when I was around 31, 32. I attended a leadership workshop, and the person, there's something that he said that resonated with me. It stayed with me for 6 months. And the next workshop I did with him, I asked him, it's like, why is it in my head? Like, why is it there? So what he said is that it's not because you're really, really good at something that it gives you energy. And I was doing client relationship management. I think I was really good at my job. I had great results, great performance, but I didn't feel the energy. I felt drained. And that what he said got me thinking, it's what am I doing wrong? What is going on? And when I talked to him, he said that, well, that's the first midlife crisis that nobody talks about in your early 30s. And that was quite interesting. So I started to look around sort of, my friends, and they were all asking themselves the same question. So what am I doing? What am I doing? And that's how I came to sort of realization that I didn't necessarily want to do what I was doing at that time for the rest of my life. I wanted to do something different. And at that time, I was also started to think that I wanted to do it on my own. It's interesting that you said that I wanted to help others. I feel like when we're in corporate, we help others as well, just in different way. Maybe we don't feel this way sometimes because we feel we're working for someone. Because we try to always play, when we're in corporate, we play that outer game. We look at what's happening outside of us rather than within us. When we work for ourselves, everything is on us. Everything. It's accountability, right? So a lot of people say, I want to be my own boss, right? It's great, fantastic. But in order to be your own boss, you need both the carrot and the stick, right? And this is something that a lot of people don't realize. They always think about the carrot, but the stick is very, very important when you're your own boss as well. So, yeah, so that for me was started, coming back to your question, started when I was 32. So that's 7 years ago. And I decided for myself at that time, I'm not leaving corporate until I know exactly what I want to do, because I believe in preparation. That probably comes from my tennis years. I played tennis for 10 years, and you don't go, on the court, you don't step on the court if you're not prepared. That's it. That's what it is. So I took a lot of time to get ready, not because I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I needed first to figure out what I wanted to do. So that sort of was my long, long journey that I started only a year ago.
So we have in the comments, Sonal says that music helps her a lot. It's she has a playlist when she does energy sessions, and then Asia is saying she uses music to help her in more ways than one. And I know that you guys are saying these comments. I'm just letting you know. Thank you for technology. So going back to what you were saying, the part about the healing from within and how it changes everything outside, there's so many who actually bump heads. They're like, is it really going to change? Is it really going to change this situation I'm in? And we go into you good busy because people want to be busy. They want to help others. They want to be there for others, but they don't know how to be there for themselves.
Yeah,
So you have a course,
I
which
do.
I want to go into, but first is, you know, when you're working with your clients, what is something that they complain about? Is it that they're complaining about their inside, like, oh, I don't like the way that I feel? Or are they complaining, blaming everything outside of them?
Very often it starts when I start the conversation with my clients. I allow them to talk first. So, what's going on? Okay. And they share. And then I ask one question: what do you want instead? And very often people just don't have the answer to that question. And it really takes one question for them to realize that the reason that they have been stuck, it's not everything that they just shared with me 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. It's simply because they just don't know what they want. Some people say, for example, I just want to be happy. I just want to create value. I just want to feel, appreciated at my work. I was like, okay, how does that exactly look like? Because feeling valued is very vague, right? What's your definition of value? Somebody, goes on the stage and talks to a million of people. That's for them value. But somebody helps, I don't know, on a day-to-day, they are helping elderly, for example, right? That's for them value. What is value to you? So that's, I think, the thing that people don't understand. And it takes only one question to ask. What do you want? You don't want what you have now. What do you want? If you don't know what you want, you can't get there. It's as simple as possible, right? I always give analogies with restaurants. You go to the restaurant, there's a lot of food there. If you don't tell them what you want, they are not going to bring you what you want. They are going to bring you what they have. So it's at the end, it's you. So a lot of people just come to this realization when just with one question: what do you want?
Hmm. That's a powerful question. I want to say hi to Sadaf
Hi,
and
Sada.
to Amir. from Switzerland. And Sadaf is saying, always learn a lot about time management from Kate. We all do
Thank
in
you.
some way.
Thanks a lot.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so here we are. We're asking ourselves, what do I want? And then once I figure out what do I want, how does your course help with that?
Well, so in my course, I talk about my framework. I don't think that I share a lot of new things in my course. I always say they are all out there. They are absolutely out there. It's just the way I package them is my way of seeing the world. And my framework is inspired by my coach when I was playing tennis. So what my coach taught me is that you have to have a goal. So you start with pausing and sort of setting that goal. Then you go into the preparation, and that's a lot of people miss that step on a day to day, and even for big goals. And then you think, what options do you have? And you get perspective on the options, because as I said, this is my world, but there is another world out there, and sometimes it helps to kind of combine that worlds to make a better decision. Then you go into the play, and that's where you finally make the move. And then finally the replay is the reflection part, which again a lot of people don't do, right? So for example, we're coming and 2023, how many people will take time to reflect what happened in 2023 and then pause to set what they want in 2024? So how does that help is that I take you in my course through all these steps that you need to achieve, whether it's your big goal or your small goal on a daily basis. So we start with helping you to set that goal. So I share with you different techniques, what's important. One of them, for example, I call them aspirational goals, right? I want to be productive. What does it mean? Right? Does it mean that you want to squeeze everything from every single minute of your day? Or do you actually want to have 5 hours of free time during the day for anything else, even lying in bed or watching a movie or a hobby or playing with your dog, right? So it's really, we start from this, and then I help you to get ready for that goal. And then I help you to get a little bit of perspective on what you're trying to achieve and what are your options to get there. So I share a lot of exercises as well that you can do in the real time. And then we're doing the play. So we are actually finding the time for you to do the actions and take the actions that you need in order to reach that goal. And finally, I teach you how to replay. I teach you how to reflect. Very often people think that reflection requires, it's sort of similar to meditation, right? You need to sit there for 1 hour cross-legged and kind of, imagine what's good. You don't have to, all you have to do is, well, for example, I finish, talking to you today. Well, I can take just 1 minute to ask myself a question. So how did it go? Okay, what did I do well? Oh, okay, I liked it. Well, maybe I should pay attention next time to this. Like, oh, maybe I should ask for an advice about this. Like, or maybe, I should get some feedback from somebody who was in the audience or. So it just takes 1 minute, and I can do it walking around the house. I don't need to necessarily sit cross-legged, right? So yeah, so basically coming back to your question, I take you from that goal. I help you, first of all, to set that goal, because not everybody knows how to set that goal. I want to be productive is not a goal. It's a goal that you will simply not know when you've reached it, because it doesn't tell us anything, right? Like, well, what it is. How would you know? This is what I help you to fix. And then I'll take you through every single step that you need to do in order to reach that goal.
So I want to say hi to Saima and Lisa. Thank you for joining us. And as we have Kate talking, I was taking notes because I was like, this is some juicy stuff. I've met a few people who go into 2024 or every new year, not planning. And I've met people who are like myself, Kate, and many of you who want to have a different year than they had. And I love that you brought up your course, which is the Good Busy course. And the link is in the comments. So if you guys are wondering how to get it, it's right here also on the screen, thegoodbusy.com course /course. But I also wanted to ask, okay, so, we're asking ourselves, what do you want? In your course, they're helping us, the steps to get like clarity into this actual goal. But I want to ask, if it's not too much, what's one exercise that we can do to kind of like help us understand, and figure out how to get to that ideal life that we have in our mind?
That's a good question. And actually, I start my course with exactly that. So I call them the core principles. And one of them, I think it's psychology. So it comes from self-serving bias. Very often we look outside, right? We say, well, I don't have this because of my manager. I don't have this because it's my company, right? I don't have this because I don't know anything, because it was not the right time, or the partner didn't work out, or I don't know, the client is wrong, anything. So, but the number one principle for you to get to where you want to be is to understand this self-serving bias that we all have. What it means is that whenever things go well, we attribute the success to ourselves. We say, well, I did it, right? I sort of achieved this. But whenever things go south, we attribute this to external circumstances. But in reality, it's never black and white as it is, right? So in the success, obviously there we play a huge role because we took the action, we probably developed the skills. There's luck that plays a role as well, and we should never forget this. Some things don't work out because the timing simply wasn't right, and some things work out because the timing was right. And then on the other hand, when things don't go as planned, is the same thing. We played a role. Maybe we took a decision, but maybe it was not a great one. Or we took a good decision, but there were external circumstances that played an actual role. And in order to understand this and to understand and work with self-serving bias, that's where replay is extremely important. Is because if you don't do the replay, you will never understand the role that you actually play. And so the question that I always, and I think this is where I started when I was in corporate, when everything changed for me, is that instead of looking outside of everything that was wrong, I started looking inside, and I started asking myself one question: what role do I play? Every single time I didn't like something, it's painful. I saw your face now. So it's painful because, I mean, it's a realization that you actually play a role, right? And then the second question that I asked to myself is that, how can I become part of the solution? Because if I am part of the problem, how can I be part of the solution? Because if I don't do anything, well, I keep the problem and I stay with the problem and I accept the problem. But if I want to change, I need to ask myself, what should I do to become part of the solution? Right. So this is sort of where you start. And that's why for me, I always say productivity, and I talk about it in the course. This is what productivity is for me. Productivity for me is a game of decisions. It's not about apps. It's not about systems, because apps and systems do not take decisions for yourself, for you.
Mm-hmm.
You do. Apps are supporting tools, instruments. They can guide you, they can help you, they can send you reminders, right? They can help you organize. But the decisions, you are the one taking them. And that's why it all depends on you, right? I can decide if I'm going to do a pop-up with you today, or I'm going to do something else. An app cannot do this for me. And so that's why understanding how we take decisions and how we think, that's where we actually create a sustainable change for ourselves in terms of productivity.
Ooh. So just for you guys to know, I do use Post-it notes. So these are my notes as we were as she was talking, I was taking them. So if you saw me looking down, that's exactly what I was doing. And I know there's so much more in the course. So I want to make sure you guys know that you can go to thegoodbusy.com // course. And if not, you can go to Kate's profile where you will see it in her featured section. And also the links are in the comments as well. So, I'm trying to make it easy for you guys so that you can find Kate, or you could just connect with her, tell her that you saw her here on this show. I'm looking at the comments. We have Randy House, who says his internet is I don't know. LinkedIn is funky sometimes. And Gabe, what's going on, Gabe? So, if there's any questions that you guys have and you didn't get to ask them because LinkedIn was acting funny, or maybe you didn't know I have a YouTube page, look, come back to this replay, ask a question, or just go directly to Kate. And I want to ask one question. What's something that you look forward to during the holiday time?
Oh, this is a good one. I was like, oh, I'm already thinking about it. Sleeping. So I'm an early riser. Like I wake up every day, no matter what, at 6:30 a.m. So I start my days earlier, but I want to spend a little bit longer time in bed. So I think that's the first one. The second one would be family time. So I worked a lot this year, including Sundays. So it's really an opportunity for me to spend a little bit more time with family and reading. It's working on the course has been quite a lot of work, and sort of all the books were set aside. But tomorrow, because I moved a couple of months ago, so I'm putting my bookshelf on, and so I'll see all my books, and I'm definitely going to grab something and start reading this holiday. So
Ooh, fun times. I mean, everybody loves sleep. I feel like as adults, like if we have nothing to do, we're always sleeping. Like that's just
yeah,
something we do. And then
yeah,
and as kids, we are like running away from sleep. And then
yeah,
reading, I love having time to read. But I just want to say to everybody again, 2024 is about 15 days away, but it doesn't mean that you have to wait until the new year. You can start preparing for it. This course will help you do that. And if you still want to learn more or have questions about it, just reach out to Kate. Don't be hesitant to ask her. And then also enjoy the holiday. No matter what, it's still, you're still here. You still have an opportunity to put a smile on somebody's face, whether it's just dropping off some cookies or just giving a thank you card to somebody. You never know. And Randy says sleep is overrated. I don't know. I love it.
I don't know. I'm really looking forward.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Kate, for doing
Thank
your
you,
first
Tracy.
live with me.
Thank you, thank you.
And I want to say thank you to everybody who joined in on this live and who's also joining on the replay. I hope that what we shared today is super helpful for you. And again, you know, don't wait to make changes. Change can happen right now. And you may not see the results, but it will happen. There are people out there who want to see you succeed, and you don't have to do it alone. And, Randy saying, I have a lot changing. It has already started for me. I'm the same way. A
Good.
lot is
Yeah.
uh, a lot is changing for myself. So until the next live, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and holiday. And thank you again, Kate.
Thanks
Bye,
so much, Tracy.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.